Thank you. We are extremely proud that our CEO, Dr. Joe Cashone, serves alongside many of you on Mayor Sherelle Parker's Market East Corridor Planning Advisory Group. You know, the mayor has aptly named this effort Reimagining Market East, a vision to revitalize Market Street on the east side of City Hall. That vision really deeply resonates with us here at Jefferson. We have been rooted in this community for 200 years, and we've never stopped investing, whether that's through our university campus, our flagship hospital, our medical practices, and most recently, the nearly $800 million Honickman Center in Jefferson Plaza, just a block away. You know, but as proud as we are of the progress here on East Market, we wholeheartedly agree with the mayor that revitalizing the entire Market East corridor is critical to our city's success. And we also agree that we're committed, that when committed partners work together, as we have with this advisory group, remarkable things can happen. And so over the course of the next year or so, we do anticipate remarkable things will happen here on East Market Street. And so with that being said, I think we're getting ready to welcome the mayor's remarkable chief of staff, Tiffany Thurman. Is she here? Yeah. Speaking of remarkable, we have our remarkable mayor, our remarkable chief of staff, Tiffany Thurman, if you could welcome them. And Tiffany, I'm going to let you get your hugs out the way. We're not going to give you much time to warm up. You can come join me on stage here. You're up. Welcome.
Talk about perfect timing. Well, good morning, everyone. In fulfilling Mayor Parker's bold pledge to make every Philadelphia a safer, cleaner, and greener city, one where every neighborhood is alive with opportunity, we know Market East has faced its share of challenges. But here's the truth. We stand here today, November 2025. In Market East, we see the potential, and it's never been greater. Just 1 year ago, the Parker administration and council stood ready to welcome a new arena to Market East. Through that process and the months that followed, something powerful emerged. What emerged was a shared belief that Market East, from City Hall to the river, deserves more than just one project. It deserves a vision, a bold vision. A vision that reflects not just what we build, but who we are as a city. One that's shaped by the people and partners who are invested in Philadelphia's future. There's no silver bullet to creating jobs, generating revenue, and restoring the energy that once defined this corridor. But there is a path, a bold, coordinated, creative path that reimagines Market East as the vibrant economic and cultural spine of Center City. And we'll do it the way Mayor Parker and her administration tackles big things, by bringing people together, listening with intention, doing the research, and staying nimble enough to evolve as we go. As Mayor Parker always says, we cannot and will not do this alone. That's why we're so grateful that more than 6 members of the Market East Advisory Group, leaders in business, design, hospitality, housing, retail, and the community, all partnering with the best and brightest minds across city government. This team brings together world-class talent and hometown passion and grit, and a lot of opinions, from the innovators redefining hospitality at Lowe's and Marriott hotels, to the visionaries at Campus Apartments and TF Cornerstone breathing new life into the historic Wanamaker building. And our retail partners, including Five Below, Reading Terminal, and Mesa Ridge, the owners of the Fashion District. They are sending a clear clear signal to the world. Just this week, Macerich CEO told Wall Street that they are optimistic about their future on Market East. This and more, in my opinion, is a bold, big green light to signal what's to come, not just in the far-off future, but now. As the advisory group moves forward in full sessions through focused subcommittees, we're all working together, and we're really excited to tackle this challenge together, to revitalize and uplift our city's main retail corridor with 3 very clear goals: vision and strategy, community voice, activation and action. For vision and strategy, we will unite many perspectives into one bold, cohesive roadmap for Market East's next chapter. For community voice, we're very committed to making sure that everyone, from the commuter grabbing morning coffee, to the family exploring downtown on a Saturday night, to the neighbors in Chinatown and the neighborhood in Washington West, that they see their needs and dreams reflected in this plan in a real and substantive way. And for activation and action, our goal, our vision, is to turn ideas into reality, not just years from now. You hear that theme, right? We're not talking just 25 and 30 years from now. We're talking about now, through creative financing, public-private partnerships, and legislative innovation that sparks visible change. As a result, we'll build a culture of true collaboration, cooperation, and coordination with stakeholders all across this neighborhood and all across the city, working together to ensure its success. Through this momentum, it's really about reclaiming Market East's role as a place of connection, culture, and commerce, where residents, visitors, and innovators feel a real pulse of the city on the rise in a real and tangible way. Rooted in collaboration, driven by vision, empowered by Philadelphia's trademark grit and work, this represents more than just redevelopment. It really is a declaration that the best days of Market East, of this city that we all love, are really now and ahead of us. And together, we will make that happen. Thank you so much, and now I'd like to turn it over to our next speaker, Mark Lynch from IBEW.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're going to do this one more time. Good morning, everyone. Today marks the start of another chapter in the story of Market East, a part of our city that IBEW Local 98 has had its eyes on for decades. We've been here from the start, from investing our pension dollars with National Real Estate Development and our partners with Jefferson, to being some of the biggest supporters of the Sixers Arena project. We believe that this area and its potential once again has the heartbeat of Philadelphia. Here we are, Local 98, standing shoulder to shoulder with our Mayor, Sherelle Parker, making sure that our downtown becomes a vibrant part of our city's future. With the world on the verge of its next industrial revolution, driven by clean energy, technology, and innovation, Philadelphia must be a city of yes. Yes to progress, yes to development, and yes to putting our people to work. Because when we say yes, not just to projects, but to opportunity, we create the kind of city where everyone benefits. When we put people to work, crime goes down. When we put people to work, schools get better. And when we put people to work, the quality of life improves for all Philadelphians. That's what real progress looks like. And this is what a partnership looks like. Labor, business, city leaders, and the community, all coming together with one shared goal: to make Philadelphia stronger. I want to thank Mayor Parker for her leadership and vision, for always making sure that labor has a seat at the table. She understands that when working people are part of the solution, the entire city moves forward together. That's why we continue to invest our apprenticeships and our training programs, preparing the next generation of workers to lead the way in clean energy, infrastructure, and innovation. We partner with local schools and communities, organizations, to open doors and show young people that trades are more than just a job. They're a career, a family, and a future. Together, we're envisioning Market East as a place that's alive, a place where people work, live, and connect. An area that reflects the energy of diversity and Philadelphia itself. Labor shares that vision. A city that's safe, vibrant, and inclusive. And I believe with the leadership we have here today, we can set a new national standard for how urban revitalization should be. So as we begin this next chapter, Local 98 is proud to stand here today ready to deliver. Because if we all work together and pull in the same direction, there isn't anything that we can't accomplish. Thank you, and God bless this great city of Philadelphia. And up next, I'd like to invite Jerry Sweeney. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the city's 100th mayor, Mayor Sherelle L. Parker.
Oh, you all must feel it. You stood before I could ask you to. While you're standing, don't sit down yet. I need to feel all of this that's in the room on the day. Put one finger in the air for me right now. One finger. Let me hear you all repeat after me and say, one Philly, a united city. I am so super excited. Do you all feel the energy in the room on today? I hope you do. I am excited to be here, and it's great to see so many of our partners and leaders who are gathered here on today, because we are united as one Philly as we lay out our vision for Market East, and not just as a corridor, but as a vision for Philadelphia's future. You just saw Tiffany Thurman say, "Hold it, Jerry Sweeney," because we wanted to speak, because I wanted to say all of these wonderful things before Jerry begins to feel the pressure. He is, and this is no accident, as we thought about moving this reimagining of Market East forward, we needed a proven leader who understood that we needed to move with a sense of urgency while also ensuring that we would leave no voice behind in this process. The collaborative effort that you see here on today between local, state, and federal government, the business community, the philanthropic community, all of that work and effort will be shepherded forward through this committee led by Jerry Sweeney. No pressure, Jerry Sweeney, but it's a whole lot of work we have to do, and we are grateful that you said yes. Please give Jerry Sweeney a super huge round of applause. To Keith Lee Parton and Joe here and the entire Jeff family, thank you. You're one of our anchors here. And Council Members Squilla and I, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, we often talk about the significance and the role that Jeff plays in all of our activity, and we want you to know that we are grateful to be here. Please give Jefferson a huge, huge round of applause. Thank you. Listen to this. After we all, let me just get right down to it. After we all got over the shock and awe about what was not going to happen on Market East, I immediately shifted into my eternally optimistic view about how we're going to be able to move things forward. And when I thought about our future, Tad and Tom, you will remember me saying this is a win-win-win for the city of Philadelphia. Why? Because out of that experience, we have an amazing joint venture between the largest private sector employer and, quite frankly, one of our anchors, the primary anchor in the business community here in the city of Philadelphia, and one that has a long time commitment to helping to move our city of Philadelphia forward. I said this to Tom 1,001 times along with Bryant. The joint venture between Comcast and the 76ers, it is the anchor. It is the addition. It is, give me all the plans because I want to hold them, because I want to show you what this is not going to be. These are plans. They're nice too. They're glossy. I think they date back to about 2009. Is that true? Guess what was missing in all of these plans? An anchor partnership between the likes of a Comcast and the Sixers with the leadership of a Jerry Sweeney, a partnership between local government with the legislative branch and the executive branch, saying that we are all in and no divide and conquer strategies will stop us from moving forward with the implementation, the action. No more shiny, glossy plans that will be very inclusive, where a lot of people get a chance to talk and then afterwards these plans go and sit on someone's bookshelf and they collect dust. Our plan and our work will not collect dust. It will actually be implemented here in the city of Philadelphia, and it is anchored by the joint venture between Comcast and the Sixers. And as mayor, I want to say thank you to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give them a round of applause. Let me say this to you. When people have asked me what makes this one different, I talk about the real partners, the real investment, the real accountability. When you think about the joint venture, when you think about our Sixers staying home and we're getting a new state-of-the-art arena that will also have the ability to house a WNBA team right here in the city of Philadelphia, that is something for us to be excited about. But all of this is anchored by what will occur here on East Market Street with this task force. Their charge is clear: to shape a shared vision for Market East that aligns with our broader goals for inclusive economic growth and neighborhood revitalization across the city of Philadelphia. Councilmember Squilla is the district council person for Market East, but I want to be absolutely clear as mayor of the city of Philadelphia. We will remember the historical significance of Market East as being the primary corridor for civic and business engagement and economic anchor for the entire city of Philadelphia. So the voices that will be heard in this process will come from the entire city of Philadelphia. I just want to make sure everybody heard me when I said the entire city of Philadelphia. Does everybody get that? No one outsized influence voice. An inclusive process that includes everyone. I'm talking about the community-based organizations, Councilmember Squilla, who you work with as the district council person, who are actually here. They live here. They call this home. They are extremely significant in this process. But also those organizational leaders who come from neighborhoods across the city who will also benefit by what we do here on Market East. East. With that being said, I want to be clear that there will be short, medium, and long-term goals. Again, no plans collecting dust on the shelf, but actionable items that will start in 2026 and are actually ongoing right now. Tangible improvements that Philadelphians will be able to see, touch, and feel. Let's start with new infrastructure. Let's think about our convention center. What are they doing right now? Spending close to $1 million to upgrade lighting around the Market Street facade of its head house building. That's ongoing right now. Give the convention center a round of applause. Let's talk about upgraded streetscapes, like the $16 million in improvements being done right now to remake the Old City portion of Market Street. Give it up for Old City right now, right now. Give it up for Old City. And let's talk about, and for me this is important, the walkability of the city of Philadelphia. It is something that has received distinction, not just here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or even in our region, but across the nation. You will hear researchers affirm the power of a walkable Philadelphia and what that means to residents there. So I want you to think about safer crossings to move around and across here. And then, yes, I want you to think about that reimagined $13 million bus terminal right here that makes travel through Center City more efficient and accessible for everyone. And Councilmember Squilla, with all due respect, I just need to check the record here. The Parker administration is correcting something that happened prior to us assuming office in January of 2024. It took us a few minutes. I'm not even sure if it's been 2 years yet, but I am happy that we have finally gotten it right, and all of the partners who we needed to be at the table to make this new bus terminal a reality for all that is to come here in our city. Give those current tangible investments and improvements a round of applause for me, please. I want to ask a good friend to come up right now. Again, when we realized that Philadelphia will have the honor and privilege of this joint venture between Comcast and the Sixers, I was thoroughly, very, very excited about it. We communicated that to Bryant Roberts. We communicated that to Tom Reed. And quite frankly, it's the credibility. It's the credibility, the long-time investment. And Comcast could be anywhere in this nation. But when we're talking to people about it, I often remind them that they may be global, but their corporate home is right here in the city of Philadelphia. Please give it up for Tom Reed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's absolutely right. I'm here to represent Brian Roberts and the company today, and we are a company that could be anywhere, but year in, year out, day in, day out, we choose to be here in Philadelphia, and in part, it's because we see leadership, as you just saw in Madam Mayor. We see her energy, her vision, and most importantly, for what we have to do here in Market East, when she chooses somebody who is the epitome of collaboration and cooperation like Jerry Sweeney to bring us all together, we actually know this is going to get done. We are proud to be what Madam Mayor referred to as the anchor. I would also like to think, because anchor to me means stability, that is good, but it kind of weighs the boat down. We're actually also going to be turbocharging this thing. It was very important to us when we signed up our partnership with the Sixers, represented here by Tad Brown. The Sixers, by the way, who have been the most wonderful partners since we got together in January. Maybe I'll just give you the inside scoop of how we work together. We are working daily. We're choosing architects. This is for both Market East and the arena. We're choosing contractors. We're choosing service providers. Are there differences? Yes. But hopefully the whole city of Philadelphia, one Philadelphia in the mayor's words, will come together and understand that if you stay focused on what we're trying to do here, all the little differences will be just that, little. and you'll focus on the larger picture, you'll focus on collaborating under Jerry's leadership and Mayor Parker's example, and you'll work like we're working today with Tad and his colleagues, getting over those little differences very quickly and moving to achieve the larger project. And to prove the sincerity of our plans for Market East, we moved very quickly to buy the land. We spent $60 million in partnership with the Sixers to secure the land. We're moving to move down the buildings that are there today as quickly as we can. Why? Because the eyes of the world are going to be on Philadelphia next summer. It's going to be a host to the World Cup, and even more importantly, it is the birthplace of the nation in a very important birthday for the nation. We have got to provide as much space and as much great space as we can for a truly celebratory atmosphere, and that is what we're doing by taking those buildings down. And my colleague Michelle Singer, who's going to be sitting on Jerry's task force, is also the vice chairman of the World Cup organization, and that space will be used for World Cup activation. So we're investing, we're building, and we're enabling development, which enables communities. As Mark said, when you've got more investment, you have less crime, you have better education. We will do all that. We'll do Market East, where there isn't so much, because it's mainly a private sector development. There isn't so much process and due process and legalities to be gone through. There will be that with the arena, and we look forward to that process, and we believe that under Mayor Parker's leadership, it'll be as collaborative as the one that she is kicking off today for Market East. And Mayor, we will move as fast. We will be that turbocharged engine that I just referred to for Market East. We will move as fast as possible to bring the best arena in the world to the greatest city in the world and the birthplace of our country on time, and able to welcome the W team, the WNBA team, coming to Philadelphia in 2030. So you give us the tools, we'll invest, we'll build, and we'll deliver you that arena, and we'll do so in partnership with you, City Council. And with that, I'll hand over to City Council member Mr. Skrilla from this district.
Thank you so much, and I want to say this is an exciting day for me. You know, after we had a long process through the arena process and going through the challenges of the community concerns and how we built up in a community benefits agreement and what all that took, and understanding that that's not moving forward. But a lot of those meetings and events that we had, concerns that we heard, have been able to now be able to consolidate that into a new vision for East Market Street. We know what a lot of those concerns were. We heard from a lot of folks in the communities and what it meant to them. And it's so important that this advisory committee now set forth by Mayor Parker, and I want to thank Tiffany, Octavia, and Jesse for their hard work in putting that together, and our leadership of Mr. Sweeney. But it's going to be the committee that makes those recommendations and then makes those recommendations to us as a city. And we're hoping to be able to use that information that we get from all the folks, along with our partners, and we know Jefferson, and we know Comcast and HBSC, the Sixers, they're going to be a great partner in that because they own a lot of those properties now, to be able to guide us in the vision of what we perceive Market East, not only in the long term, but as you heard the mayor speak, in the short term, what we're going to do for next year. And none of that happens without being able to build these facilities once we're ready. And to our building trades, Mark and Local 98 and all them, it's really important to be able to collaborate together to understand what it's going to take to make this happen. We have a lot of great partners, and when I saw the number of people that were selected, close to 60 people to be part of this committee, you know, and then bringing breakdown in certain committees, but also the community engagement that's going to be put in place, to be able to go out there and work with neighbors so they could put in their 2 cents. And I understand there's going to be a virtual portal up there for people to share their their ideas, right? So that we could get ideas from everyone as part of this process. And yes, it's going to be close to a year-long process. That seems a long time, and we'll have a short-range goal before that process is done. But that allows us to take input from everybody, and especially the adjoining communities that will be impacted the most. It's also important to make sure that their vision and how we connect East Market to the north and south communities along the way. We have from the river down to City Hall, and there's a lot of different communities that are impacted by this, and we all could grow from it. And it's just the input is necessary, because when we have a vision and we have a plan, it makes it easier for developers to then look at it. Even though we have a lot of private developers out there, and we have a big partner in Comcast and the 76ers, they like to see a plan on what's expected. And when they see that, they could build that vision. And that's what this plan's going to do. And then it's going to allow us to then codify that through legislation, whether it's adding certain incentives, looking at what we could do to attract even additional private interest into that, along with government interests, our supporters from the feds and the state who are willing to work with us and be a part of this committee to see what other information we could get and what other dollars we could get from additional resources is important. So I'm really excited to do this. I remember speaking to the mayor right after, even when legislation was initially passed for the arena, and I said, hey, whether the arena's coming or going, we need to really do something for East Market Street to put this committee task force together. And I want to thank the mayor and her team for doing that and really putting the leadership in place so that we could then hit the next level. Again, is everybody going to be happy with everything that they see and going on? I think it's great that we have so many people involved, because you're going to have different opinions from maybe stakeholders, property owners, developers, community residents, and that's what's going to make this plan even a better plan for Market East. So I'm excited to play a small role and a part of this committee. I'm really excited now that it's got started, and looking forward to seeing that nice, glossy plan at the end of the year to make sure that we could show people what the community needs are, what the community wants are, what the city as a whole wants, and make Market Street what it really truly deserves to be, is a great economic driver for the city of Philadelphia. So today I'm really excited. I'm happy to be here, and I really want to welcome next Jerry Sweeney, who will be leading the task force and the advisory council.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jerry Sweeney. I'm with Brandywine Realty Trust, and I also have had the pleasure the last year of chairing the Mayor's Business Roundtable for Center City Rejuvenation. And I'm delighted to be engaged in this process. I am starting to feel pressure, though. But it's an important process, because out of pressure comes a plan. Out of a plan comes action, thought, and results. And that's what we're really all about. So, Madam Mayor, thank you for your leadership and energetic commitment to this important initiative. I'm a firm believer, as I'm sure many of you are as well, that tone starts at the top. So the mayor has made it very clear that reimagining Market Street East through an effective public-private partnership is a top priority and a great opportunity for the city. Councilman Squilla, your vision and experience, community connections, will make all the difference as we go through this process. So thank you for your leadership. Tom Reed and your colleagues at Comcast and partners at the 76ers, you are an important part of this process, and we thank you for your support and commitment. And Keith, for all your colleagues at Jefferson, we thank you for hosting today. You're a key anchor institution on Market East as well, with a big vested stake in the city. So we appreciate your support and engagement. And of course, Mark, labor is an important part of everything we do. So thank you as well. I also want to thank each member of the advisory committee. In fact, if members are here, if you could stand up for a round of applause. If you're in the back, just jump up and down. Thank you. It is a great group, and I want you to recognize that each of these leaders have been called upon to do something above and beyond their day jobs, to engage in a process that will create a new reality for Market Street East. All of us have connections to Market East and a significant stake in remaking this corridor into a valuable asset for the city. We care, and that's why we are here today. Many of us have memories of Market Street East of the past versus what it is today. The juxtaposition of what was and what could be, again, I think inspires every member of our advisory group. And the role of the advisory group is fairly straightforward. It's to listen, to learn, engage with each other and the community, understand the economic realities of today, and develop a clear vision of how Market East can once again become a significant contributor to the fabric of the city by restoring vibrancy, improving community connections, and accelerating job growth. The advisory group, we're looking at community engagement, better north-south connections, infrastructure, private investment, and modifications to public policy, including zoning changes, and whatever else we learn along the way. As many of you know, development planning can be a challenging, very nonlinear, and an iterative process. But if well executed, the benefits are both inspiring and impactful. A successful process is curated with broad-based input, creativity, energy, and most importantly, discipline. And that's the way the mayor has designed this process. This group represents the broadest array of interest, creating the largest possible tent to advance these ideas forward. As Councilman mentioned, many points of view are represented, and no doubt, through our public engagement process, many strong opinions will be expressed. All perspectives will have a full seat at the table to present ideas, raise concerns, share their hopes and aspirations, and then we will collectively determine our short and long-term path forward. Engagement with the broader community is key and will be an integral part of this process. Concerns ranging from cleanliness, unhoused persons, street safety, neighborhood connections, product mix and sequencing, long-term planning, infrastructure investment, public policy initiatives, job growth, and economic development. All those things and more are on the table. There will no doubt be debates and differing points of view. But if all of us, not just the advisory group committee, but all of us engaged in this process, approach every discussion with a constructive, positive attitude, this process will, with the mayor's strong support and leadership, yield tremendous benefits to the city and the entire region. That is why each member of the advisory group has signed on, why we are here to make a difference and add value. We are committed to making the Market Street East of tomorrow so much better than the Market Street East of today. By working together, I have no doubt that we can restore Market Street East to its rightful place as an economic engine, a neighborhood connection, and once again, a place to create amazing memories. So we're excited about moving forward with this process, and at this point, I'd like to introduce Jesse Lawrence, who's a Director of Planning and Development for the city and a key driver in the reimagination of Market East. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. So as you know, and as you heard from Jerry, I'm Jesse Lawrence, I'm Planning and Development Director here in the city of Philadelphia, and I'm one of the leaders of the Market East group that we are here talking about today. I just want to recognize that I'm very fortunate to have a crew of very outstanding co-leaders to work with. You heard from Jerry, who just spoke about his leadership, but also want to point out my colleague on the city side, Octavia Howe. Octavia, give her a hand. Octavia is one of my deputy directors, specifically our executive director for the City Planning Commission. She's an absolute star that we plucked from the Pew Charitable Trust. She was there for about 10 years. I should actually say she is rejoining the city because before being at Pew, she was one of the city planners at the Planning Commission for about 8 years. So in any event, she is truly a source of institutional knowledge and an absolute asset to this effort. She is supported by Ian Litwin, who is in the crowd. Raise your hand, Ian. Ian Litwin is one of the city planners on our staff with the most expertise when it comes to Center City. He created the materials that you see on each side of me today. And there are a number of other staffers who are committed to this effort on the city side and making sure that they're dedicating their time to the city for the Market Street effort. So I'm not talking about my staff because I'm just proud of them. I'm talking about it because I think it addresses an issue as to whether or not we've had the infrastructure and the bandwidth to actually carry out whatever project we're rolling out, right? I've been around in municipal government for a little bit now, and oftentimes I've seen these best laid out plans, copies of what the mayor showed up with. I've seen them fall apart because government didn't necessarily have the realism about the resources, whether that was humans or otherwise, necessary to carry that out. So I just want everyone to understand that we are absolutely serious. We're hypersensitive to that. We intend to see this go through, and I think you can see my mayor. I don't have a choice. We have to get this going through, okay? So please know that while at planning, we're all working hard, and my wife tends to say we work a little too hard sometimes. We're planners, and we are committed to seeing this out and doing a good job in planning it out. And where there are gaps, we want to be clear about the fact. We notice that. We recognize that. We've taken the care to make sure that we fill those gaps and voids. We've hired Guidehouse. Guidehouse is a well-regarded consultant team that's done a great job for the city on some previous projects. They're very familiar with the issues at hand here, and they have lots of experience with not just meeting facilitation, but effectuating transparency in a process and project management as well. And all that's very helpful and necessary when you're working with an advisory group of this particular size. And when the project requires very complex efforts to implement, such as this massive public engagement campaign, Guidehouse and partners up here on the stage they're intricate to that process. So you heard the mayor talk a little bit earlier about the history of Market East, right? And how, our history has really taught us how to carefully and intentionally plan our city. And that careful and intentional city planning played a big role in Market Street becoming what it is today and what it has been in the past, developing it into a commercial, civic, and cultural hub. For example, if you go back all the way centuries back, William Penn and his surveyor, Thomas Home, they measured Market Street to be 100 feet wide, and that's back when you had to deter disease and stop fire from spreading, and it actually worked. So, in other words, that planning going back to 1682, that meant a lot, and I think that was the beginning of a long history of this particular street being an anchor for our city, that original grid that we mined, and resonates for us Philadelphians in that we see Market East in decline, and we feel deep down there's something wrong right now. So I look forward to working with you and engaging with the public to restore Market East in its proper place as a world-class destination, but our Main Street and what it always has been. And finally, as my role as the Director of Planning and Development, I've had the experience of being swept up in this big home plan that the mayor has, right? And all of that encompassing her goals to creating a safer, cleaner, greener city with economic opportunity for all. And for me, that means spending a lot of time on the home initiative, which, as you know, is our plan to tackle the housing crisis. And we're eager to get that passed in council very soon. And that brings me to another reason why Philadelphia needs a big, bold plan for Market East. Our city has this nationwide superlative of being having a downtown with a significant residential population. A lot of people live downtown here in Philadelphia, right? So it's not just a commercial area, it's also where people live. So imagine the progress that we can make by developing Market East, a plan for Market East that aligns with what we're doing with home, by partnering with developers, businesses, building trades, the banks, and the communities, all to bring more housing to the corridor. So I thank you. I thank you for your time today. I encourage you to visit that portal you were talking about, www.phila.gov/Market East. That is where you can start to submit those ideas. And stay tuned for a lot of the widely advertised community engagement that we'll be having in the coming months. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to the mayor to close us out.
Thank you. Move these a little over. I hope you feel and are as excited as I am as mayor of the city of Philadelphia. Jerry Sweeney, when you hear me talk about the pressure on today, I have now formally and officially transferred all of of the requests, Councilmember Squilla, as I'm traveling to neighborhoods across the city of Philadelphia, and people are saying, what's going to happen on Market East? What's happening? I am so proud that I can say that, listen, the Market East Committee is in live and living color. They are now continuing to meet, collaborate, and preparing to launch the next phase of the vision. I want to be very clear that this comprehensive long-term plan that will carry Market East into the next chapter as we move into 2027 and beyond, I want you all to leave here with very clear understanding. And this is important to me, not just for this community, but for the entire city. I don't want anyone leaving here on today saying that there is a plan that is baked, that is cooked, that is done, and it is a plan that will be shoved down the throats of Philadelphians. That is not what this is. But what we have done is gathered together some of the best subject matter experts with knowledge, intimate knowledge of our great city and its history, and a team of people who represent the best that Philadelphia has to offer. So that those are the community-based organizations that are in this community that are directly impacted, but they are also citywide and regional leaders who have the ability to attract and bring resources here, anchored by a government. And I want to affirm this, and Councilmember Squilla and probably Jesse, you said this, and I want to make sure people understand this. When you saw me hold up those plans, I saw Managing Director Adam Teal here somewhere and Jesse Mondlak, because we've been talking about these plans that have been collecting dust. Jesse, you were right. They collected dust because there was not a unified approach and buy-in from all of the stakeholders who represented this community, who were elected to office at the local, state, and federal level. So, Councilmember Squilla, all of us, our state partners who have access to a great deal of resources that are, quite frankly, much larger than ours. So I believe is that State Representative Waxman and State Senator Nikhil Saval and State Representative Mary Isaacson. We know that they're working extremely hard, but I want you to know we're coming. And we're happy that you are a part of this process along with our federal leaders. We've talked about the congressional leaders who not only represent this community, but are two U.S. senators. We will also be relying a great deal on them. And I want to state for the record that our governor, Josh Shapiro, affirmed from the very beginning of this conversation since I have been mayor of the city that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and he as our governor, he's fully vested, particularly as it relates to infrastructure, transportation adjustments that we have to make in this area. Anything that we need to do, our governor, Josh Shapiro, will be working in partnership with us. So if anyone now wants to approach the mayor, no matter what neighborhood I am visiting in the city of Philadelphia, and they say, Mayor, what is happening with Market East? And I want to make sure that my voice is heard. No voice will be left behind. No idea will be left behind. And if you want to talk about how you communicate that to this committee, I can now direct you to Jerry Sweeney and Keith Leaphart and to all who are present, because they are going to make sure that they hear you all. I want to say to you, Mark, from 98, who was here, all of the labor organizations from SCIU to Unite Here, the building trades, every stakeholder. This is to have an affirmative impact on Philadelphia's future, but safe, clean, and green and economic opportunity for all. That's how we will see economic mobility advance in our great city. I want to say thank you to each of you, and we now want to make sure we make ourselves available for any questions. Minus Comcast and the Sixers, I want to address the questions that we have. I don't want you all to have to go into into any details about anything more than what you have described here on today, because nothing is baked. So I don't want anyone to leave here thinking anything is baked. There is no plan that is baked already, that we are asking people to embrace right now. Today is the beginning of a comprehensive process. So the first question, yes, sir. So the timeline I would describe as it is actually in action right now. There will be short, medium, and long-term solutions and recommendations that will be a byproduct of this advisory group's work. But you already heard me just reference about 4, from the convention center to Old City to the reimagined bus terminal, and quite frankly, streetscape improvements that are being made, and some that are funded by the city of Philadelphia that are taking place now. And these things are already in action. But as the advisory committee comes together and works, you'll see short-term recommendations that will be released that they have built consensus around, some medium and some long. But this is what I'm not interested in doing. Let me just see the stack again. Councilmember Squill, I know you've represented this area for some time, and I know I'm the newcomer here. I've only been mayor for a little bit. I just want to remind you all, this is not what we are going to do. So if someone is asking us, are we going to wait 5 years or 4 years or 2 years to put together a shiny plan and then work on implementing, that is not how this will work. We will walk and chew gum at the same time, and you will see us implementing while the advisory council is working. Is everybody clear? We're not waiting for, I see Scott Sauer here from SEPTA. I'm thinking about the DRPA and our PATCO partners. All partners are at the table. I'm thinking about the Marriott, who's opened up those doors, Lowe's. I don't know if you all know, those golden doors are open on Market Street, and we are with, is it Tuesdays? Tuesdays Live. So for anybody who is asking what do the plans look like and are we waiting, we've already started to work. So I'm really excited about the actionable agenda, short, medium, and long term. Jake? I'm sorry? Yeah, we're talking about an interim solution, but I will tell you that when you see the interim solution actualized and the aesthetic appeal of it all, I want you to know it lays the foundation for what the long-term solution will look like. I think when you heard Rich Laser from the Parking Authority make comments about it, he talked about the aesthetic appeal. I don't know who agreed to what when these early decisions about what would happen with that bus terminal were made, but we're not looking backwards. So any of the sins associated with the past, we are not going to allow that to hinder innovative thinking and, quite frankly, collaborative partnership about reimagining what Market East or the bus terminal will be like as we seek to ensure that there is a permanent solution. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
There was some discussion about creative financing options.
Yes.
What are some of the things that would be considered?
So I don't think that there is anything that is off the board. And I don't want, I see you're sitting behind Trish Wellenbach, who manages all of our external partnerships here in the city of Philadelphia. And you will be surprised. I'm going to be diplomatic here, Trish, and I'm not giving anything away. East Market Street has garnered some attention from some unusual allies or people or organizations you would not expect. They're not even based in Philadelphia, but they've been monitoring very closely, the discussion regarding Market East. And our hope is that when they see the work that Jerry and the advisory committee puts forward from the short, medium, and long term, we are going to be very aggressive, open, and willing, and some of that will be local, state, and federal. I mean, Councilmember Squilla, we talked about TIFs. We want to be as creative as we possibly can, but is there anything that is built? You heard Tom talk about, did you mention 60? Was it $60 million? That's a part of what we're doing, but I'm talking about individual building owners and, you know, retail outlets who are already talking about investments that they've secured for their own respective businesses. We have to make sure that that is all communicated from a unified perspective, not this sawtooth, this is what I'm doing, look at us, but we find a way to scale it and talk about it from a unified perspective. That's what we're going to do now here. So is the state funding package baked? Absolutely not. Why should Philadelphia be fortunate? Because every state legislator who represents this region, they are waiting to see the results of what this collaborative process yields. Our governor, he's committed to the city of Philadelphia and Market East. Those are good, our federal leaders, those are good signs for the city of Philadelphia. So B.F. Skinner would call it a blank slate. It's a blank slate. No one should leave here today saying that we have anything built. From a funding package to decision making about what will be what, that is what the advisory committee will do. Yes? Keith Leapart, and we're here at Jeff. And I'm thinking about long-time conversations with Joe on this. I'm seated here in the front row. Pat is our police commissioner. I want to affirm to you on today that nothing about our commitment has changed. Safe, clean, and green with economic opportunity for all, from our roundtables to what you heard Jerry mention in his remarks. That's why we're focused on housing, because we can't deny that we have a challenge with homelessness in this community. We cannot, avoid discussing that there are challenges with mental and behavioral health and substance use disorder and addiction supports that we need for some of our most vulnerable citizens, and that impacts this community as well. So from the police department to the district attorney's office, every stakeholder, the courts, every stakeholder who is a part of that. I don't know if Adam Gear's here, our Office of Public Safety, and what we've done with Wellness Court. Jerry, we've heard the roundtable, loud and clear. That's not just Kensington, right? It's when we're addressing homelessness, substance use disorder, and addiction across the city, and that includes this area. Councilmember Squilla, I think we have been very forward-thinking, and we had a united a composition of the group that advocated for us to do the work that we did with you, Councilmember Squilla, I'm missing what, Councilmember Driscoll, Harity. That was the foundation for the Kensington caucus. So that wasn't a Sherelle Parker mayor administrative advocacy. That was partnership with the City Council of Philadelphia. And if you listen to the people who live here, when you talk about what's important to the people who are in this community, we can't forget about public safety. And there's no one entity that's simply responsible, but we're going to continue working all together. And we won't do this. We won't finger point. What we'll do is come to the table and work together, and we're going to figure out how to get to yes as it relates to solutions that we can all support and get behind. Yes, you've been so patient. Yes, sir. Well, I will argue to you that we were very intentional. For those of you who remember the timeline, the first budget for the Parker administration, we were focused on getting our house in order, safe, clean, and green, economic opportunity for all, everything we did in our first Philly budget. The second budget that we worked on, we were laser focused on housing, but even when we got to housing, our implementation and advocacy for housing housing, it actually was delayed because we needed to give our full attention at that time to conversation around East Market. So once we realized what would not occur and we saw the win-win-win that came out of that decision-making, we came to the table. We made sure that we were very methodical. We made sure that we read and we've analyzed. So when you talk about the voices that we started with, not only the process that we just concluded, but here, all of the data, all of the research, all of the decisions that were made by the community to help to build these reports for the last 30 years about Market Street's future. We wanted to make sure that we analyzed all of that data, and then we brought in real time everyone who needed to be at the table to the table, and now we are ready to move. So for those who would view it as a delay, I haven't been known to give a knee-jerk reaction to anything that I've done as mayor of the city. I consider myself a very meticulous planner. It may not be according to someone else's timeline, but I will do it to ensure that the work that we do, it will not result in what we see right here. Plans that are collecting dust on the shelf that have no buy-in from a fiscal perspective to make sure that they are implemented. That is not what will happen on my watch. So I want to take my time and get it right. But we will make sure we stay afterwards, okay? All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.